Good evening, you guys, and welcome. I am Antoinette, and I'm your host of the jAntoinette Show. Listen, I'm so excited that you guys took some time to come hang out with me. We have an amazing show lined up tonight. I mean, y'all, I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but we're gonna have a good time. So November is all about perseverance. If you guys are following my podcast, you have known that over the last couple of weeks we've been talking about persevering because 2020 ain't over yet. You still have time to win. You still have time to get it. You still have time to turn the tables. Like I look at the election as a perfect example. Biden came from the end and he won, and you still have time to win. You still have time. It may seem like you're falling behind, but you still have time to win. So the link to my podcast is going to be in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe. You all can subscribe to my YouTube page. A lot of fun stuff is going to be going on there. You'll get a chance to get to know me a little better, my family. And if you know me, you know my kids are my life. They are my babies. I absolutely love them. And so you'll get a chance to come hang out with me and my boys. So we are going to get into tonight. Our guest is here. I know she's ready. We had a brief overview even on yesterday. And y'all, when I say I was in tears on that phone. So I already know she's going to bring it. So like I said, 2020 ain't over. You still have time to win. You still have time to secure the bag. You still have time to go after every dream, desire that God has given you. I'm all about pushing people. I'm all about seeing people be their greatest selves. And there's no better way to do that than now. Right now, we're still technically shut in and the world is closed. So you have plenty of time to go back to the drawing board and just let's just get it done. So tonight is going to be amazing. We have some inspiration from my girl Candice with Candice Corner. If y'all know Candice, y'all know that at least once a day you're going to get a video. And so we have our virtual vitamin brought to her today. And we also have a special announcement by my niece. If you all were on the show that we did last week, Gabby's Kitchen, she's doing some amazing things, and she's giving away some Thanksgiving baskets. So if you know somebody that's in need, or if you are in need, you have an opportunity to come and get you a basket. So without further ado, we're going to get into this show. Our first segment, which is my favorite segment, which is called Virtual Vitamin, by my girl Candice. So we're about to get into the Virtual Vitamin.
Hey y'all, I know sometimes your connection to God or to the people that God sends in your life feels weak, but if your connection to God and his people didn't have power, the enemy wouldn't fight you so hard. As I was praying, I heard the Holy Spirit say, stay plugged in. 1 John 4:4 reminds us, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Because of what's on the inside of you, you're connected to favor. You're connected to peace. You're connected to love. You're connected to healing. You're connected to the waymaker. You're connected to the miracle worker. Because of your connection with God, you have power. Stay plugged in.
Stay plugged in. That is Candice, Nicole of Candice Corner. And you guys, when I say she has an amazing story, if you know Candice, her testimony is, bananas. So make sure you guys are following her. The link to her page is also in the description box. And we're about to just get into tonight's show. So our guest, oh my gosh, y'all, she's a mother. She is a very strong woman of God. She's an entrepreneur, and she's just a blessing. I met her a few years ago. I was visiting her church, and I was telling her yesterday, my first encounter with her, I was in the back of the church, and I had just had my son. He was about a few months old, and I remember her coming to me, and she just embraced me with a hug, and to see how she has overcome. And I was asking God, well, who am I going to get for this show? And when he gave me her name and I learned more about what she does, I was like, oh yeah, we got to have her on. So our guest tonight is none other than Monique Antoinette. And I really love her, y'all, because, you know, I'm jAntoinette. She's Monique Antoinette. And so we're about to get it. So please drop some hearts and show some love for our special guest tonight, Miss Monique Antoinette.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I am well. How are you doing? How are you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous, but hey, God gets all glory. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it well.
Let's get
So,
it.
before we got to get into this conversation, I love icebreakers. Anybody that knows me knows I love to laugh and have a good time, and so I want to do something with you real quick. I know sometimes we can kind of look at our kids and they know what we're saying without us opening our mouths. But so I want to know, how do you say when you're greeting your friends and your family? How do you do that? How do you greet them?
Ooh.
So I'm gonna give an
Okay.
example. So like
I'm
one of my friends, when I call her and I'm like, friend, hey friend. So how do you greet your people?
so I have one friend. Hey sister. That's my sister. I love her so much. Um, I say friend, hey girl, hey. That's my thing. One of my
I
girls is
love
hey girl,
her.
hey. I got one girl, hey little baby. I call her little baby. It just depends. It's just like, but they know.
That you talking to them.
They know.
All right. So the next one, how do you like when you got something hot to say? Like when I call my mom, I just need to tell her, I need to vent her. I'm like, girl, and she already know what happened. So when you got something to say, how do you like? What is your go-to? Like, what is it that come out your mouth when you just got something that you just gotta get out
To my mom or just to
to
people?
anybody?
Ooh, my go-to is not. I don't really have a go-to. It's just I have to filter everything I say. Literally, I have to filter my words. So mine is probably like, ugh, it's literally that. It's
Oh,
like literally my face will give everything away. My face.
so are you that person that your face will tell on you before you tell on you?
Yeah,
I was like that as a kid. Like I was telling my son even earlier,
my
like
face.
my mom knew when I was lying because my face told her I was lying before. I said, "No, mom, I ain't do it." And she like, "But you did." I'm like, "But I didn't." But mamas always know. So
They
okay,
do. My
we're gonna do
mom's like,
more. Lit. Listen, my mama knew. She looked at me like, "Girl," and I'm just like, "Okay." See, what had happened was trying to figure out what really happened because if you tell a lie and she find that out, it's just like, "Oh Lord, I'm
people
really in."
upset you, so you might as well just get yourself together.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. So one more. How when you're at a function, right, and somebody brings you a plate, how do you say no thank you when you know the food nasty?
Dang, you got me. A
Mm.
lot of times, though, this is the truth. So it depends. Because when I'm with my brother, it's a whole different situation. When I'm with my brother, it's like we cut up. So
Enrique, yes.
we'll take the plate and we'll just be sitting there nasty, nasty. It's just nasty. We're not eating it. Like I'll take it to be sweet, try not to be rude, but it's just like it's gonna sit there. Like it'll sit there like, bro, you hungry? Like, nah, sis, I ain't hungry.
That's like me. Like,
I ate before I got here.
I'm gonna take it home. Thank you though. Thank
Yeah,
you.
like I ate before I'm sorry, girl. I ate before I got here. I'm so sorry. But
Oh,
I
listen.
promise you, when I get home, I'm gonna let you know how this tastes. Yeah.
Oh. So I want to I want the audience to kind of know a little bit about you. So like I don't know like where you're from. We know that you're a mother, but we want to kind of get to know you a little more because, like I said, I want to even set up with what you're doing with your movement. I think it's a beautiful thing. And even before we dive into today's conversation, you have a organization, you guys, ChinUP Conversations every Wednesday at 8:30. You can catch Monique Antoinette live and when I was able to catch one of your lives, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Lord, she in my business. Don't do that. Don't do that. But people, I mean, it was just amazing. And your transparency and your heart. And it wasn't like, I'm not telling you this because I know everything. I'm telling you this because I've been there. So I want to talk a little bit more about your organization, a little bit more about you and how you got to ChinUP.
Ooh. So first of all, I'm gonna start with myself and then I'll walk you through how I got to ChinUP. My name is Monique Antoinette. I'm a mother of three. I was born and raised in Decatur, Georgia. Snapfinger was actually my elementary school. So yeah, I came from
Snapfinger. And you know what? Your brother came to one of our career days, and the kids loved him. They're like, Miss, they loved him. They loved him.
That was our starting ground. Snapfinger was our starting ground. And then we moved with my mom. But I love everything outside. I'm an outside person. I love football. I love to be outside. That's my thing. That's where my creative juices and ideas get to flowing. Outside. I love nature. I'm a fan of nature. That's my thing. Like I told you, I'm a mother of 3. I have Madison, Nathan, and Gracelyn. They're 9, 7, and 5. Give me a run for my money on a daily basis, but I would not trade them for anything in the world. How did I get to ChinUP? ChinUP actually literally birthed through me last year. Last year, wow. ChinUP was given. God gave me ChinUP last year in a tough season. It was a tough phase in life. And I was like, okay, God, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And then I was questioning it, and I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it. Like, I knew what it was, but I wasn't trying to have a ChinUP moment. I just wanted to stay where I was and stay stuck in kind of the things that I was doing or the phase that I was going through. I wanted to stay stuck. So I'm like, I'm not going to release ChinUP because it is what it is at this point. And everyone was using the word ChinUP. And so I was like, saying ChinUP. Like, why we keep saying ChinUP? What does that mean? When God gave me the definition of what ChinUP would meant to me and how I would use it, a year later, it came out. I didn't even do it. So God gave it to me a year ago, and it came out a year later. And ChinUP stands for changing how I navigate under pressure. Literally, when God gave it to me, I walked ChinUP out. And I'm not going to say I fully walked it out. But what I can say, I've walked out the experience, and majority of it, I'm walking out. And as I do ChinUP on a consistent basis, on a weekly basis, it's healing for me. Like I told you yesterday, it's healing for me. It's therapeutic. It allows me a space that people can see my transparency, but it allows me a space that not only am I growing before the world or before you guys and my viewers, I'm actually growing as a person, like behind the scenes. It causes me to be accountable to something. Like the things that I say to people, I have to hold myself at that same standard and accountability. So it causes me to be like, girl, do what you got to do. So that's what ChinUP, that's how ChinUP was birthed out. I was in a bad season, and I was at my job actually. And I told one of my coworkers, I'm like, I was just having a whole rant, just really tripping out. And he said ChinUP, and I was like,
ChinUP.
And I love acronyms. I'm a person of acronyms. I love acronyms. That's just my thing. And when God gave me that acronym, he didn't give me under pressure until like 3 or so days later. He gave me the ending, but he did not give me the ending until he gave me the pressure part. The last day I kind of like spazzed out at work. He was like, my coworker said pressure, and I was like, hold up. That's it. I was like, that's it. That was God. Wow. And when I put it together and it made sense, and it not just made sense because it was sound, but because it fit everything that came before it. And then the pressure hit, and I'm like, this it, God. And that's how it was birthed. And then it's like a year later, God gave me strategy. He gave me the wisdom. He gave me the understanding first. And then I've been able to articulate that understanding from what he's given me to people that watch me every week.
Wow. Girl, I'm telling you, that's real. You know, sometimes we go through things in life and we hold our heads down. And I've even been telling myself, girl, you got to hold your head up high no matter what. And you have to show up because people are watching you. Like I said, I would have never known. And then just to hear your story, to watch you live and to watch you grow, it's just like, gosh, she glowing like for real. So it makes sense. It just all makes sense. So I was telling the audience earlier, like a lot of people who follow my podcast, this month I've been talking about perseverance because like I was sharing with you too, like the last couple of weeks for me have been like a roller coaster. And even really like the last year or so, it's just like up and down and up and down. I'm just like, God, what are you doing? And I was finding myself trying to do different things to drown out what it is I know. Like, I know I hear you, but I don't have time because I'm trying to do this. And sometimes God will literally put you in an uncomfortable situation. He will put you in an uncomfortable circumstances to force what's in you out.
Yep.
And so when I started back doing my podcast, I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about. Like, what? And when he gave me perseverance, and even when I looked up the definition, I'm just like, okay, God, like, because despite the difficult things I'm facing, I still gotta show up. I still gotta push through. I still have to do what it is that you called me to do. And so I'm like, you know what? We still got time to persevere throughout 2020. You know, I just laid one of my friends to rest, and I'm just like, you know what? She loved people for real. And she began to start even her ministry. And through it all, she remained faithful to God. And I'm like, you know what? I got to do this. And like even tonight's show, I want to shout out Valerie, my sister Courtney, Stacy, because just seeing them carry her through to the very end, it's just like, you know what? I got to keep going, because it's people that are watching me. It's people that are depending on me. There are people that they need me to follow through, so that they know, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. I think I told you that last night. Like, it was just, God, if she can still show up, I have no excuse. You have 3 kids, I have 2. So it was like, and I'm the type person, I'm like, well, God, I have this. Okay. Noah didn't have this, but I told him to build the ark, and guess what? He got the building. You know what I'm saying? So I want to kind of dig a little deeper, because like last week we talked about the process, and I shared with some of my listeners that a few years ago, a few years ago, 2017, I found out I was pregnant with my youngest son. Me and his father weren't together. I lost my apartment. My landlord told me, "Oh, I'm not renewing your lease." And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh!" And I ended up moving to South Carolina to be with my son's godmother, to just get myself together. And I was talking about like that whole process for me was literally having to pull myself away from my circumstances, because oftentimes we'll allow what we're going through to be so loud that we can't hear God. And he's constantly showing up, and we're constantly praying like, well, God, show me a sign. And God is speaking, because our circumstances are so loud, and that's all we see. I see right now. I can't see beyond this. We often get stuck in there. So I want to ask you, the first question I want to ask you is, why do you feel people have a hard time getting back up after life has hit them so hard?
I feel a few reasons on that. And I feel a few reasons because of this. The first reason, I feel like some people, you have 2 groups of people. You have people that are comfortable with being the victim and are comfortable with being stuck, because the fear of being on the other side of stuck, the fear of being on the other side of a new normal it's the fear of being on that other side. Like, it's like, I know what pain feels like. I know what stuck looks like. I know what stuck feels like. And I'm comfortable right here. Now it hurts. I don't like it. I hate this place. I don't care for this place, but I've made a decision that I've grown to know this feeling. And because I've grown to know this feeling, I'm okay if this feeling remains what it is. Like, I'm comfortable. I'm settled. I've settled with myself that I'm going to stay right here, because this feeling, I've adapted to it. I've adjusted to it. And that's the thing. You got some people that will adjust to being stuck. Some people that will adjust to being just in that place, because they've allowed that place, instead of that place, them outgrowing that place, they found themselves to be comfortable sticking in that place. Like, they've adjusted to the place and not allowed themselves to grow out of that place. So those are the people I feel like, and then you have people who just don't. You have some people who just they don't know how. They don't know really how to leave this place. They don't know how to, they don't have the support system to get up and make a move. Like, Those are the two people you have. You have people that don't have the support or don't, and honestly, they don't know how to do it. They don't even know where to start. And then you have some people who are just comfortable and they are okay and they have settled and they have become okay. Like, I'm okay.
And you know what? I talked about that. I talked about that last week because even with me, there was a point in my life where I was so used to chaos and dysfunction that it became normal to me. So it's almost like a person that's stuck in chaos. When I see normal people or what the life that God has called me to, I see what that is. It's like, oh no, I don't want that. I even people who are in situations where they're just used to being talked down to. Like somebody who's always being talked down to, when they see somebody say, oh my gosh, Jamila, you're so beautiful. For a long time, I used to hate people tell me that, like, you're so pretty. What? Because I never heard that a lot. So when I started hearing it, it was just like, it was foreign to me. And then I had to really get in a place where I was praying, like, God, I don't want this feeling no more. Like, I want to see me how others see me. I want to see me how you see me. And it literally took me I was fighting and showing up every day. And even still, sometimes it was just like, I had to fight through because I had learned how to live in dysfunction, that when God was calling me into function and to function how he called me to be, I didn't know how to do that. So I was okay in my bubble. I was okay in my cocoon because in my cocoon, it's just me. In my cocoon, can't nobody come in here because I've already shut off from the world. You know what I'm saying? I've already closed off so nobody can even see what's going on the inside because I'm already wrapped up. But it wasn't until me growing and I realized this cocoon, I can't fit in here no more. I started breaking free and I understood this is what God, I love butterflies because I literally feel like, you know what, this is me, because for so long, like I never let people get too close to me. I never let people into my inner corner because I was so used to being closed off because of what I was dealing with. And it wasn't until I made up a decision in my mind that I'm going to persevere through in spite of this situation, and I'm going to still spread my wings, because one thing about a butterfly, they never know how they're going to come out of the cocoon until they come out. They never know what color am I going to be, or what is my design going to be, or am I going to be able to fly? But I won't know that until I come out of this wrapped up place. Girl, listen, they're not ready. They're not ready. All right, so my next question to you, Monique. I know, even with your chin up, you talk about navigating under pressure. And even last night, we talked about that pressure. Describe for you, how did you navigate through the pressure that caused you to say, you know what, I'm going to persevere and I'm going to push through no matter what? Because oftentimes people make up in their mind, I'm going to do it. And then when we step out, fear overtakes us and then we retreat back. I used to tell people I'm a master retreater. I'm not a confrontational person. That's just not me. I know how, you know what, you got it. God bless you, and we're going to be all right. And so I learned how to master retreating, but I never learned how to, you know what, I need to show up. I need to face this, because if I don't face this, then I'm going to always be in this place of, I'm going to show up, but I'm not going to move.
Yeah. I think for me, that's a loaded question. But for me, I would say this. My first thing was I knew if at some moment I didn't move forward, I knew that in the end that my kids would have to fight this thing. And I knew that was to be honest, that was my initial. My initial was, I knew how tough it was to fight and always fight, being consistent and fighting the stick and stay. That I was like, oh God, if I don't get this together, they're going to come behind me and they're going to have a problem sticking and staying. And they're going to have a problem being a runner. Because I knew I struggled all my life with being a runner. I've struggled with that. Like, just run, girl. Just leave. Girl, you got
to, because I used to pick up my stuff and go. Like,
because it's easier. It seems easier to run. And then because you run, I think the mentality is you run and it all goes away. And you forget that one day you may have to go back to the place that you're continuing to run from. And then you find yourself in a situation where you run dead into it because you can't outrun the thing that you were initially created to confront. And I really do believe people think that if I outrun it, no, what you're doing is you're running in circles, which create cycles. And circles only come back to the original state. Because all you're doing is this. You never bust out because you're too busy following the circle, which creates the cycle. And the cycle is going to continue to keep going until you make a decision to break out. Breaking out means I'm not going to run. I'm going to face this head on. I'm going to confront this. And this is not going to cause me to stay right here. Because the one thing about cycles, you'll stay in a cycle and time continues to move without you. In that cycle, time moves. Time is not going to wait. It's not going to pause. It's not going to stop. Everything in life, you got a lot of stuff that stopped. The world stopped. The world stopped in March. Time didn't stop. Time kept going. With or without you, time will still keep going with or without your permission. Like, that's the one thing I had to grasp. We can stay in this cycle and you waste 10 years in this cycle, or you waste 2 days confronting it and letting it be what it's going to be. And the end result is not going to always be pretty. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to always be, ooh, it's going to hurt some days. But one thing I've learned, wounds heal and they clear up and they start to disappear, but the scar remains. Like, your wound can heal. Scars are left to show you the experience. And it shows you that even though you were afraid to try it, you were afraid to go for it, you were afraid to stick in it, but it lets you know that you are strong enough. Scars give you hope. It gives you the hope to allow you to know that, it may have given me a scar. Yeah, it may have hurt, but pain does not last forever. Pain is only temporary. Scars are proof that pain is temporary, but the experience will always be in that. Like, you'll always have the experience. It'll always be branded on you that, you went through it, but you came out on the other end of it. You didn't have to get buried in it. You didn't have to die in it. No, you didn't die in it. You didn't suffocate in it. No, guess what? You went through it and you got to experience the other side of it. And I believe that when we make a decision to stop running, to stop going in circles, to stop living our lives like this, break out of that glass ceiling, break out and then break through. And once you break through, on the other side of that, everything that you long for is on the other side of that. When you make a decision, push through it.
It's all a decision.
Yeah, like if I would have got stuck, for those of you that are on, if I would have got stuck in divorce, if I would have got stuck in the mere fact that I got divorced, and not that I got divorced young, and it just wasn't the prettiest thing. If I would have got stuck right there.
Wow.
What is it? I wouldn't be here now to be able to have this opportunity to talk to you guys. ChinUP will never be burnt out. If I got stuck in just the pain of divorce, if I got stuck in this thing called divorce, that for some of us is meant to keep you stuck. It's meant to keep you in pain. It's meant to keep you broken. It's meant to keep you bound. It's meant to keep you mentally drained. If I got stuck right there, somebody is depending on your cry. You got somebody. The things that you cried about today, the things that you cried about yesterday, the things that you cried about 5 minutes ago. Somebody is depending on your cry to help them in their next experience, because your cry signifies the experience that you're either going through or getting ready to come out of. It does not last forever. It's temporary. And don't make a temporary thing a permanent thing in your life. This situation was for a temporary reason, for you to learn a lesson. Once the lesson is learned, you move on and permanently affect change in someone else's life. That's the permanent thing, change. But the temporary thing is, I got to go through this. Because somebody that you're connected to, just like I told Antoinette last night, somebody that you're connected to, they are waiting on you to get on the other side of it. Once you get on the other side of it, you can now start bringing people out of it because you're experiencing it. I've never seen a paramedic come to the scene with no experience. I've never.
Wow.
They have to go through training. So your training is on the job. You on the job training. Life is on the job training. As you go, you learn. You learn day by day. Day by day, you're learning something new. Day by day, you're learning who you are. You're learning what you like some days. It's a learning thing. You probably won't reach perfection, but you can perfect yourself daily. But it's all about you making a decision to come from being in a place of stuck. It's a decision. It's like truly, it's a decision.
And
It's really,
you have to live in your truth. You have to. Another thing, even for me, I had to really just live in my truth. Yes, I've had, and anybody who knows my story, I've been pregnant 4 times. I've had 2 miscarriages and I have 2 live births. And I used to feel like, I'm not married, but I have to live in my truth. It's okay because I'm not going to be the last one, but I can help the next one that may not have been as strong. I had to bury 2 children, but God has blessed me to birth 2 children that doctors told me I couldn't even have it to begin with. But sometimes we get around people who want to look at your past and say, well, you weren't nothing before you met me, or you weren't nothing before this. And even through that, it's okay. Once that temporary thing ends, you know what? This was a stop. I learned my lesson. I had to keep going. But oftentimes we get stuck in people's opinion about your truth. That's your truth. That's your truth. And you have to be okay. One thing I used to tell people, we can't tell God how to give somebody else their testimony. We can't tell God how to give somebody else their story. We can't tell God, well, why? No, because God is the author and the finisher of our faith. You just a character in my story, baby. You played your part and we kept it moving. There's no love lost. But in order for me to get to the end of what I'm doing, I posted today in order to see true success, you got to start. And often I would just start things. I mean, you told last night, I would start things and stop because of fear of other people, or, well, they saw me when I started last time. Now and it's okay. And they're going to watch you do it this time. But this time, that consistency is going to stick because I told God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. If it's one person on, if it's 2 people, if nobody come, and I'm just talking to we just having a conversation, because at the end of the day, my life is so that God gets the glory out of everything that I do. So you have to be strong enough to walk in your truth, and whatever your truth is, you let God deal with you, and you let God grow you and prune you, and you let him get the end result. Because oftentimes people will feel like, because I'm connected to you, or I did that, you ain't do nothing. People don't understand or don't allow to say, you know what, God, I thank you for the role that I played in that person's life. I thank you for the role that I played in their life. I thank you that even though it didn't work, that, you know what, they kept moving. I was engaged young as well. I never made it to the altar. And for so long, I was angry. I was upset. I'm like, God, you know I want to be married. You know I want to do this. And I was ashamed. But I had to get to a place, you know what, God, this is just a chapter of my story. I remember when my first son, when I got into a car accident and my son died. And I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety. Monique, when I tell you I couldn't even drive a car I couldn't breathe. I'll never forget, I was on my way from Columbia, South Carolina, back home to Orangeburg. And I was in the middle of 26 and had to get rushed back to Columbia because I couldn't breathe. I just felt like my body, and I was like, God, I don't want to live like this no more. And I'll never forget, I was the day I got discharged from the hospital, I came home, I was in the shower, and everything was fine. And I looked down and milk started coming out of my breast. And I just screamed and cried. And I remember my mom telling me she felt bad for me because she didn't know how to help me because she'd never been there. So it's almost like God was putting me in positions to where certain things you're going to have to go through by yourself with God. Certain things in your life you're going to have to persevere and push through with nobody else, just you and God. And so in order to get to that chin-up moment, in order to persevere and really have the power to overcome, you have to be okay with, sometimes I'm going to be by myself. Sometimes it's just going to be me and God. Sometimes it might just be me and my friend. That's all I have right now to vent to. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If it's just me and my kids on this journey, God, I'm okay with that. But you have to get to a place that you live in your truth, and you don't allow your truth to become somebody else. Well, let me tell you this, because oftentimes people will use your truth as their gossip, but you let God deal with them. You let God deal with them and you keep on moving. Because your power and your perseverance is what's going to give God the glory, what's going to give you the increase. Girl, people, it's a process. So I want to talk about even too with that process, because oftentimes, like you said it earlier, it ain't pretty. It's not pretty, and oftentimes we get stuck, and we don't want to go through the process. Mm-hmm. But you can't skip the process to get to the promise. You can't skip that part. So how did you navigate, even going through your divorce, through that process? How did you navigate that and not get stuck? Like what did life look like for you to still have to show up although you're going through this ugly thing?
So first, I'm gonna give the definition of perseverance, because it's gonna kind of lead to where I'm going on this one. Perseverance is a steady persistence in a course of action or purpose or state, especially in spite of difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. Continuance in a state of grace to the end. My favorite part about this definition was the continuance in a state of grace until the end. It's a pursuit, and it's a mindset of being intentional. Every day was not a good day. Every day is not I want to get up. But every day I was intentional about showing up. First I would love to tell you guys it's like a 10-step process. It's not like the truth of it all is I went through multiple phases. I never really understood, like people said, divorce, like you said, divorce is it's like a death. It's like, Jesus, you go through so many phases. But then not just in divorce, through life, how I've been able to navigate through just different experiences in life, just rebellion, just like rebelling when I became a teenager, just the club phase, just all of these different phases. Like I remember one phase in life, I felt like I had to get up, drink to go to bed. It was just a lot of different phases. But what I always noticed about myself, I always came back to who I was created to be. You can never outrun who you're created to be. I don't care how far you go. I don't care what you try to do. I don't care what you try to, like, who I'm called to be it always showed itself in the wrong space. Like I'm trying to hang with all my little friends at that moment. I'm thinking about Jesus, like, or just something crazy. It was like I always came back. But the thing that I want to say is this: give yourself room for grace. Give yourself room for forgiveness, to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you're going to make on the journey. You're not going to be perfect in the journey. The journey was not meant for you to be perfect. You won't come out perfect. The thing about it is you take one day at a time, one step at a time. You make a decision in your mind that today I start the day of being intentional. I'm intentional about my process. I'm intentional about healing. I'm intentional about restoring myself. I'm intentional about moving forward. I'm intentional about reaching my dreams. I'm intentional about reaching my goals. I refuse to stop here. I just refuse to stop here, because one thing I've learned is when you get an intention about yourself, like when you get intention about something you want to do, a lot of us get these things, like these goals in our minds at the end of the year. Everybody makes these New Year's resolutions, like I'm losing weight, I'm making a vision board, all that stuff. You don't have to wait till the end of the year. Today, you can make a decision that in your mind that I'm going to take my life back. You deserve to live your life to the fullest. You deserve to live whole. You deserve to live happy. You deserve to live free. You deserve to accomplish everything that you set out to do. No, it's not too late. No, you're not too old. No, you're not too young. No, you're not washed up. No, you haven't messed up that bad that you can't get back on track. No, you can't get back on track. You derailed. So what? Get that train back on the track and keep it going, because what you're carrying, somebody is waiting on you to get to the next stop. So no, you cannot stop here. You cannot stop here. Because if you stop here, they're waiting on you. And then if you get stuck right here, you're staying on a track where people are now stuck waiting on you to move so they can go through. So not only are you stopping these people from receiving what it is that you have in you to release to them, but now you can't even release, which causes you to build up and you now stuck and you rusting away. And then you're getting stale in what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And now you're holding up everybody else that are waiting to cross the tracks. It's time for you to make a decision to cross over and keep moving. It's time for you to make a decision that what people say is irrelevant. Your focus is not on people. It's not on what they're going to say, because whether you do it or not, believe it or not, they're still going to talk. So do you want them to talk and you stuck? Or do you desire for them to talk and they're talking because you're moving? Drown out the noise. Blot out the noise. In this phase of life where you're getting ready to go, the noise is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Block out the noise. Block out the noise and get yourself in a quiet place. Get yourself in a quiet place where your spirit is calm and that you're at a place of peace and that you're in a place where God can actually minister to you and give you your next instructions for your next move, for the next phase of your life. But this next phase of life requires extreme focus. It requires for you to get out of your own way. You have to make a decision to get out of your own way. And what you're trying to become was created from who you were. Who you are becoming is made up of who you were. Who you are in the present will help who you're becoming in future. Don't discredit where you come from, what you've done, the mistakes you've made, the life you've lived. Never discredit it. My favorite scripture is, if any man be in Christ,
come on,
he is a new creation. All things are passed away, and behold, all things are made new. You cannot hold me on something that God has already forgiven me for. It's time today for you all to break free of what people have held you to. People can no longer, it can hold you. I talked about this last week, but people can't hold you where they left you. People can't hold you to the place of where they left you. They left you for dead. They left you struggling. They left you broke. They left you a single parent. But when they come back, you're no longer in that space because you made a decision that come hell or high water, I'm going to get up and I'm going to move from this place. Movement is required in this next phase of life. It's no excuses. All gas, no brakes. It's no
gas, no brakes.
About where you go in life. Don't give people the credit, or don't put your life in people's hands. Take your life back. Take your joy back. Take your peace back. Take your sanity back. Take it back. Make a decision that I no longer give you control over my life. I no longer give you the power to control my emotional state, to control my destiny. No. Today it ends because you're so intentional about the peace that you deserve. You're so intentional about the goal that you deserve to reach. You're so intentional about your future that you make a decision to move. Move. Movement is not you taking off and you just running. An object in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. Make a decision to stay in motion and allow God to do what he's going to do to keep you in motion. But first, before God can actually step in, you have to move. It's where two agree upon a thing. Two, you and God together. You have to agree with God, and you have to trust that what he said and what he spoke about you, it is what it is. God does not take back his promise. His promise stands. His promise is still sure. And if God told you that he is God enough, he's big enough, he's bad enough, he's strong enough to bring it to pass, he's just waiting on you to make the first move. In this phase, you are so used to God moving first that it's like, God, I need you to rescue me. God, I need you to rescue me. No, now this one's on you. You got to step out and trust that once I make the first step, God's got my back. Because God has already gone before you. He's made every crooked place straight. God has already gone before you. He's already set it up. Your destiny is sure and your destiny is safe. Your promises are sure and your promises are safe. Your promises are secure and your promises are safe because God told you. God gave it to you. God created you on purpose for a purpose. And it's time for you to now get out of the place of being a victim. Get out of the place of being stuck. Yeah, you went through it. It's 10 more people behind you that have gone through it. Yeah, you had to struggle. It's 36 more people behind you that have struggled. Yeah. Do you know how many people have gotten laid off this year? The question is, what have you lost? The question is, are you still standing? The question is, you're on the other side of the grave that you get another day to do what you could have done yesterday. To the mere fact that you get another chance now. You get another day. You get another side. You get another day on the other side of the grave to still put your feet down and shake the earth. You can still do what you've been called to do. I don't care the age. I don't care the experience. I don't care the mess ups. I don't care the falls. A just man falls 7 times. It's time for you to get up. It's time for you to get up. It's time for you to get out of that seat of excuses. Excuses are for the uncommitted. My pastor tells me that all the time. Excuses are for the uncommitted. It's time for you to get committed to something. And once you get committed in that one area, I promise you, you'll get consistent and committed in all areas of your life. But today, just make a decision to be intentional about that area in your life. Your kids, for those of you that are mothers, your kids deserve to see you whole and to see you healthy
and happy.
And for your family deserves to see you at your best. Better yet, you deserve to be everything that you desire to be. Why do you settle on yourself? The days of you cheering and being on the sideline cheering for everyone else are over. That you can no longer cheer for yourself.
You gonna make me shut this thing on down here tonight. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Those days are over. You have to learn. Now you got to flip the script. Cheer for yourself. You don't need 100 likes to do what you've been called to do. I don't care if 2 people sit on your live. Those 2 people can change your life. It only takes 1. I talked about this. It only takes 1. Stop thinking that if you don't get the comments, people are still watching. I've seen views be higher than comments. Because regardless of if people ever say anything, guess what? They saw it. Period. Stop waiting on the time, like the perfect time. It'll never be a perfect time. It'll never be the right time. It'll never make sense all the way. But because the mere fact that if God gave it to me, I got a sure thing on it.
Yeah.
I have a confidence because he gave it to me. I'm sure. I'm okay with knowing that if God gave it to me, he's big enough to back me up on it. But you have to stop cheering. You're not a professional fan. Stop being a professional fan and be a fan of your own life.
Of your own self.
And it's okay to cheer for people. It's like, it's totally okay.
But see, people will get stuck there because they want to see everybody else win, and then you forget that you're running your race too. They don't took off. The whistle has been blown, and you better run, boy. I see you, and yet you ain't moved yet. You still on your number. They waiting on you to run. You know, I even think of like a 4-man race. If they get to you and you number 3, and your team is depending on you to run to the end, but you see your homegirl running up, girl, you better run. I see you, but you ain't moved. And I mean, you hit it on the nail because I've been there. I have friends that have been there. I'm like, one of my coworkers who was like, she became my friend. We had a conversation even last week, and she said, "We too talented. It's too many of us in this circle. It's too much talent in this circle, but we cheer for everybody else. Learn to be." I even told my mom that, you know what? I am the crowd. I'm cheering for me. I just turned 33 years old, and I told God, this year, I'm dedicating this next year to me and to you. Because for so long, I've been pushing everybody, serving everybody, cheering everybody, showing up to everybody's stuff. Now it's time for me to show up for me. I need to see what my end results are going to be. And it's personal. And you have to be that way. It's not being selfish. It's saying to yourself, I'm giving myself the same grace I gave you. I'm giving me that same grace. I'm giving me that same love. Because people will pull on you and then you empty, and now you can't even show up for yourself because you drank.
I would tell you, say it's selfish. It is selfish. You're focused on self. It's selfish. See, the thing about it, I think people put selfish and make it a bad word. It's not. No, this season is personal and it's selfish because I've been so focused on others that I forgot self. So this season is called selfish. I'm being selfish. It's about me. Yep.
It's about me.
Because people they're okay with you being about them. And the moment you be about self, it's a problem. No. Because when I was cheering you on, we were cool. We were the best of friends. We could hang out, all this stuff. The minute I started doing something to better me is the minute my friends no longer were my friends. Right. Because when you enter into a selfish season, it's a season that it's not unhealthy. I'm entering into a season where I now become focused on self because I put self on the back burner so that I can be all about you. And when I'm all about you, it's okay. When it's time to be about me, it's a problem. So I need you to disappear anyways because you're not even for me, no way. That's when you start seeing, when you go to a season that it becomes very personal, that's when you start seeing who true friends are, who your real circle will be. Your circle will go from being like this round thing to probably a dot. Why? Because now people that are not for you will move when seasons come where you got to be by yourself. When you have to explain, like, it's time for me to be about myself. True friends already know she getting ready to transition into something else. And they're okay with that. Mm-hmm. They're okay with every day I can't talk to you because if I'm talking to you all day, every day, what am I doing productive for myself? What am I doing to better myself? What am I doing to bring change to myself? No, you're entering into a selfish season and it's okay. I'm talking about the selfish that you know that you've been an amazing friend. You show up to people's events. You always support everybody else. And then you look up what you were supposed to do 2 years ago. I'm behind schedule. Wow. Because I've been a cheerleader and I never once got off the bench and got in the game. And one thing I've learned about people, you got people stuck at the finish line stuck at the starting line because the starting line also is the finish line.
Wow.
Because you too busy cheering folks on that are coming in from the race that are actually placing because you stuck at the start because the finish line is still right there too. You see the finish and you see the flag and you see the cute stuff. You haven't even got off the finish line. Get in the game.
Get in the game.
You just as important as these other people on the court and probably better, but you'll never know because you never started because you don't feel worthy enough. You don't feel confident enough. You don't feel bold enough, strong enough, pretty enough. No, you are all of those things and more. And what you possess is so special. What you possess is so amazing. What you possess is so big that if you don't get in the game, you leave all of that up for grabs. I'm not going to leave. When I leave this earth, I will leave empty. I will not die full, because I know what God gave me is so special that he would choose me to carry something so special, so powerful, so world changing. I'm a global shifter, world changer. And because I know that, I don't have to look like you to get it.
Come on.
Like, you guys be original. It's okay to be your authentic self. It's so much beauty in authenticity. Authenticity. It's beauty, it's power, it's strength. I don't want to be a duplicate, because when you duplicate somebody, you have to duplicate their experience.
And you can't walk in my shoes.
No, I'm not duplicating it. I've been through enough. I don't want to take your experience too. Because when you go through, like when people, I see them trying to do something and some try to create something that somebody already created. No, stick with what God gave you. Because guess what? You are an originator.
You're original.
No, you're an original. When God created you, you are the blueprint. No, baby, you the blueprint. People take after you. Stick to the strategy. Stick to the plan. Stick to what he gave you. Because it's people that are connected to you, to your story, to your experience, to your life. Stick to that. You'll find success in that. You'll find peace in that. You'll find everything that you need on the journey will be in that. If you duplicate someone else's idea or someone else's way of doing things, you're going to get what they have.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're going to take their experience, you're going to take their blessing, and your blessing is probably 10 times bigger than theirs. But because you made a decision to follow their lead, no, you are the leader. I lead the line. I lead the line. Sorry.
I lead the line.
Those days of being the caboose, over. Those days of just jumping in line, get in where you fit in. No, I belong here. You belong here. A space was already created before you made a decision to actually tell God yes.
Mm-hmm.
Before you went through all of that, your space was already saved. Do you know how people get out of line and be like, girl, hold my spot? I'll be right back. I gotta go get something real fast. God is waiting on you. He's holding your spot.
He's holding.
He's waiting on you to get in line. Your spot is yours.
All you gotta do is move. But you gotta make a decision. You have to make a decision. Monique, we're not gonna give them too much, because honey, we could go on all night, and I'm going looking at some of these comments. Like, I mean, what you share have blessed so many people. And I'm just excited about what God is doing for you, what he's doing for your organization. So I want to, at the end of every show, you guys, we do this thing called a moment in a minute. And I'm going to give Monique the floor, and she's going to leave you with her final thoughts. Monique, you have a minute, and you are up.
So I would like to share with you guys tonight. I challenge you guys to step out on faith, to trust God with your next move, your next plan, your next strategy, understanding that it is okay that you might not hit it on the head, but at least try to hit the nail, and understand that you are and you have what it takes to do what you've been called to do on the earth, to make every dream, every goal, to make that a reality for you. No, you deserve to live the rest of your days in peace and joy and love, happiness, whole. You deserve to every dream that you've ever dreamed of, everything that you've ever desired, every goal that you want to see manifested. You deserve for that thing to happen. And no, you don't have to wait till the end of the year to make your resolution just what it is. You can start today. But I challenge you right now to make up in your mind that today is the day that I make a decision to step out, break through, and break free. Today, I make a decision that I'm going to be on the other side of fear. Today, I make a decision that I won't make any excuses of why I can't, and make a decision to just do it, because you have what it takes on the inside of you. Everything you need is already on the inside of you. God has been standing right there holding your space in line. Now it's time for you to get in line and understand that it is a place that's already been created for you, that you fit. And no, you don't have to fit in their mold. Be who you were created to be here on earth. And I speak to you now that you have what it takes. You have the boldness, you have the confidence, you have the strength, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the strategy to do what you've been called to do. Step out, break through, and then break free. Because everything you need is on the other side of fear. It has been a pleasure talking to you guys tonight.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited, girl. You blessed me. I'm so excited for you. I don't know what to say, because even when we had what was supposed to be an overview for today, you know, you just spoke into me, and I'm just excited about what God's getting ready to do for you. Just go in it boldly. Don't be afraid. And I just thank you, because tonight I really feel like we opened the door for a lot of women to see that we don't have to be in competition.
Yeah.
You gotta like, I gotta like, let's shine together. Let's do this together. Let's grow together. So I want you guys to make sure that you all follow Monique's organization, ChinUP Conversations, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. You guys can find her on Facebook Live. On Facebook, I put the link to her organization in the description. So all you gotta do is go and click on it. And we have one more announcement. I told you all that my niece has her nonprofit organization, Gabby's Kitchen. And so if you have a family or you know somebody that's in need for the holidays, my family and I have come together and say, you know what, we want to be a blessing to other families. So we are looking for a third family to bless for the holidays. So if you know anybody, we want you to email us at anotherchance@gmail.com. If you all don't know, Another Chance is the nonprofit organization that I run. We want you all to email us, let us know, hey, we have a family and we just want to be a blessing. So Monique, thank you so much. We're gonna have to do this again. We might have to do a part 2, because my spirit is excited. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. To everybody that's watching, thank you all so much. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. And we're excited to see more women come together, more Black women, more women of color come together and celebrate. Let's normalize. We normalize everything else. Let's normalize healthy conversations between Black women, and let's normalize lifting each other up. So Monique, let them know how they can follow you on all your social media pages, and we're gonna be on now.
So my ChinUP page, you can follow me at ChinUP Movement. That's at CHINUP Movement on Facebook, and just go ahead and you can like, share, comment, and of course you are more than welcome to inbox me, and I promise my best I will get back. I promise I will get back as soon as possible. That's my thing.
As soon as possible. Monique, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we're going to turn this thing on out. So I will see you guys. As far as the jAntoinette show, we are going live every second and fourth Monday for the remainder of the year. And top of 2021, we'll have some exciting things coming up. Y'all never know. Monique might come back and come and hang out with us for a little bit. So if you're watching this and it has blessed you, we want you to like, share, comment, just leave some words of encouragement. This is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, to get on this thing and to talk in front of people that may or may not be watching. But at the end of the day, God gets all the glory. So you all have an amazing night, and we will see you all next time.